In the dry season, swamp water recedes into stagnant, shallow pools, where dissolved oxygen levels drop toward zero. Navigating through this thick mud is the Asian swamp eel. It appears simple, a slender, scaleless creature that seems ill-equipped for such a harsh environment. Its survival doesn't depend on thick armor or speed. Instead, the eel manages the oxygen crisis by shifting its own biological sex. Every large, dominant male eel patrolling these mudflats began its life as a fertile female. This transition is the final stage of a life cycle designed specifically to keep the species alive in a landscape that kills most other fish. Nearly 100% of swamp eels hatch as females. During this initial phase, they grow to about 20 or 30 centimeters. Their biology is dedicated to producing hundreds of large eggs packed with nutrient-dense yolk. After several years, once the eel reaches a length of 30 to 40 centimeters, a shift in hormone production triggers a physical transformation. The change begins internally. The ovaries, once the primary reproductive organs, begin to shrink and eventually vanish. In that same space, testicular tissue grows and solidifies. Within a few months, the eel has become a male capable of producing sperm. This process is known as protogynous hermaphroditism, a one-way transition from female to male. This ensures that the population always has small, young individuals producing eggs, while only the largest and strongest eels take on the role of defending the nest. When the rainy season returns and water levels rise, the newly transformed male prepares to mate. He swims to the surface, gulps air, and exhales a cluster of sticky, mucus-covered bubbles, weaving them into a floating mat at the water's edge. This nest acts as a raft. It keeps the eggs suspended at the surface, where they can absorb oxygen directly from the air rather than the suffocating water below. Once the raft is ready, the male attracts a female for a coiled mating ritual beneath the bubbles. As they spiral together, the female releases her eggs upward into the foam, while the male fertilizes them. Immediately after the eggs are laid, the female leaves. The male is now the sole guardian of the next generation. The male uses his mouth to carefully tuck the fertilized eggs into the foam, ensuring they remain in contact with the air. He remains at the surface, constantly exhaling new bubbles to replace any that burst, maintaining the structural integrity of the raft. This period also marks a behavioral shift. The eel becomes hypervigilant, patrolling the perimeter of the nest. He will strike at any shadow that gets too close. Snakeheads, birds, and snakes are met with a violent territorial bite. When the eggs hatch, the larvae stay near the nest with their yolk sacs still attached. The father continues his guard during this vulnerable phase. He only leaves once the young are strong enough to swim away and hunt for microscopic prey on their own. By switching genders as they grow, swamp eels maintain a self-regulating population where every individual serves two distinct roles over its lifetime. Their ability to engineer bubble nests allows them to bypass the lack of oxygen that limits other species in the same habitat. Through this combination of internal biological shifts and external engineering, the swamp eel turns a hostile, drying landscape into a successful nursery.